soon. There's quite a lot of frustration running around right now. You guys probably know that. And, you know, the problem with this entire thing, and I don't want to just bury them, because the reality is what they were caught for is so minuscule, we all think. But that's the issue with it. If you're going to cheat with something like that, so blatant and so obvious and so in front of everybody's eyes, what are you doing with the rest of the car that we can't see?
That was Graham Rahal. Last night at Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana and Jack Daniels, hosted by Hammer and Nigel, talking about what happened with Penske. The question is, are the people who are in the race, people who are fans, is there a level being too close to this? Is this as big of a deal as we think? I mean, I have my take, but I go to the experts. Kevin Lee joins us right now, pit reporter for the NTT IndyCar Series, and of course, host of Trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. You can get that over there at 93.5, 107.5 The Fan, 107.5thefan.com. And Kevin, good to be with you. Let's just talk the nuts and bolts of this thing, this attenuator, and kind of fusing it to the body of the car, trying to, one would ostensibly think, gain a little bit of time. Is this the crime that it is made out to be in the social media sphere?
Well, it becomes a bigger deal because the team is owned by the group that owns the series. So that is the rub, and that's why people like Graham Rahal are quite upset. And honestly, it is also because of the push-to-pass issue from last year, where two Penske cars were disqualified from finishing first and second at St. Petersburg and dock points. So, you know, they're looking at this as 2 and 13 months. And it is baffling because this is something that you can see. And how did it go not noticed? Now, this is not on the car every single race. So this is something that would only be for super speedways. I think that's also something that you want to look at is, do we see this on other non-oval races? It is, as you said, something that can help reduce drag. Tim Cindric told me that it was something for appearances. And we know Roger Penske is about making things look right from everything in the race shop. He was the first to make sure that the shop floor and the garage floor was always clean. But it's a very clear rule. You cannot modify this part, so there had to be penalties, and there's still going to be more questions asked, and I think mostly by Roger Penske of the people running his race team.
And you know, there's a worthy conversation there regarding decisions he's going to have to make about where he really has his time, has his efforts, and does he want his name in a large measure being tarnished by this. But talk to me about what you're hearing there in the paddock. Talk to me about what you're hearing from these teams. Is this as big a deal to them as it is, and I do think it is, to the fan base?
I think it is a big deal internally, and they've not really, not all of them, some have, but not everyone has gotten over what happened at St. Petersburg last year and how it took a while to discover that and how it was a bit of a coincidence that it was discovered. So, yeah, it's not going to go away, and I don't think anything new is going to come from any penalties. They've been hit from this circumstance, but it's still kind of the court of public perception from the hardcore fan base. They're the ones very much aware of this, and inside the paddock, and not just other teams, but other stakeholders. What does Honda think about this? And they're in the middle of a negotiation to try to continue to have Honda as a part of the series, and they see this is going on with a Chevy team and Team Penske. So there's some things that are going to be discussed internally. I know there was an owners meeting yesterday. I wasn't privy to what was said, but I can imagine it was a bit contentious.
Talking to Kevin Lee of Trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. You can get that at 1075thefan.com. You can download that on your favorite podcast platform. Give me a little bit of preview of this race. There's always a number of storylines, but just in that first row, the rookie, the veteran, and the guy who has come in second 2 of the last 3 years in Pato Award. Schwartzman, Takuma Sato, Pato Award. As good of a first 3 or as exciting of a first 3 as you've seen in a while, or can you compare this to other years?
And I think that's why we're all honestly a little bit sad. Those of us that work in the sport, that so much of the attention is going to something else because there are massive storylines. The guy on the pole has never done an oval race, and he is tasked with leading the biggest race in the world, so that is amazing. And it's a brand new team that's never done an oval race with Robert Schwartzman and Prema Racing. Takuma Sato is almost 50 years old. He does 1 race a year, and he's starting the best he's ever started, and he's won this race 2 times. Pato Award, if his car is good enough, is going to win or it's going in the fence. He's finished second twice. He's crashed trying to win before. And then, let's go to the back. Joseph Newgarden has one of the 3 best cars, and he's starting in the last row. He is going to carve through the field, but I think the best 2 cars are probably Alex Palou and then maybe Scott Dixon starting in, rows 2 and 3.
There's a lot.
Oh, and by the way, Elio is going for 5.
Right. Oh, it is never ending, the number of storylines. We'll catch up more maybe later this week. Certainly, I'll see you on Sunday. Kevin Lee, Trackside. Be sure to get the podcast wherever it is you get your podcasts. I appreciate you being with us. Matt Bear is